Hello, y'all. I am here to talk about the two main events of the cards that happened last night. I hope you were at least to catch at least one of the two sporting events that happened last night as far as combat sports. A lot of sports been going on, especially around this time during the holidays, end of the year. You see a lot of great events, a lot of stacked cards, including the one coming up this Saturday. I'll have that prediction video beforehand. We'll not be doing one of my short little 1 minute predictions that you have to follow me everywhere because they're usually on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and other forums, not just YouTube here. So you have to follow me everywhere. Now that we got that out of the way, like I said, I did make two predictions on the main events, and I got one of one. So 500, I'm okay with that. So first it was UFC, and we had a welterweight boxing championship fight as well. We're going to start with the UFC, and the main event there, I chose Jack Hermansson to beat Melvin Vettori. He did not. Okay, this actually started at the same time as the boxing main event, and it's hard to find the boxing main event, so I actually was watching the boxing main event live, so I had to go back and find this one. So I was able to watch it sound off multiple times and everything, and actually wasn't hard to see. Jack lost this fight. I think he was ranked like number 4, number 5, so this is a heck of a jump from Melvin Vettori because Dana White already said he's probably going to end up in the top 5. Good for him. He's like the first Italian UFC fighter that has a real shot at least getting a title shot / maybe a championship fight in a very stacked middleweight division. So let's go ahead and talk about the fight. 5-round decision, all in favor of Melvin Vettori. I completely agree. I kind of feel bad for Jack Hermansson because he had 2 opponent switch-ups in a month, 3 weeks, something like that. Supposed to be Kelvin Holland, and before that, I don't even know who he was supposed to fight originally. Someone let me know who his original opponent was. It was switched to Kevin Holland and then switched again last minute to Melvin Vettori. Can't feel too bad for him though because Melvin Vettori didn't know who he was going to fight either, and he was thrown into a 5-round fight. So both of them were actually caught off guard and had to, make decisions on the fly and kind of roll with the punches. And Melvin, I think, is just ready. I think I've underestimated him, quite frankly. He is much more powerful than I remember. He's a bit quicker than I remember, and just that tenacity. He had a high offensive output. This was primarily a stand-up match. We saw that Jack Hermansson definitely wanted to take it to the ground when he got in trouble very early on in the fight. First round, got dropped by a hard shot. Both of them were actually bloody. Jack was never fully out of it. In fact, in the 5th round, he might have actually took the 5th round. I have to look detailed on all 3 judges' scorecards because I believe they all had a 49-46 in favor of Melvin Vettori. But Melvin just had a higher offensive output. He pushed the pace. He initiated the exchanges. He landed more shots, landed cleaner, landed harder. There was multiple moments where he actually stunned Jack Hermansson as well. So he just won this fight. I wouldn't say it was a super dominant win, but it was a very clear victory. I believe Jack Hermansson was ranked like number 4 or 5. So this is going to be a major jump up in ranking for Melvin Vettori because Dana White already said he's probably going to be ranked in the top 5. So great win for him. Who would you like to see him fight next? He immediately called out Paulo Costa. Then he said, never mind, I want to wait for the title shot. Said that Robert Whitaker was too busy trying to be with the family. But I actually think that the Paulo Costa thing is a good call out. And I think that I actually like that fight next for him, despite Paulo's performance against Izzy. Right. So y'all let me know about the entire card, though. I did watch the entire card. The slam KO of Wineland. I want to say Wineland. Wyman. Excuse me, Wyman. The slam knockout where you have, oh boy, the new cat. He actually did the frame, had the hand on the neck, and when he slammed him down, he purposely slammed that head into the canvas and knocked him smooth all the way out. Amazing finish there. So we actually had some good fights here. So let me know your thoughts on the entire card. Of course, your predictions, any injury updates, and of course, who should Melvin Vettori fight next. Next up, let's go ahead and get into this WBC, okay. And still, looks like I got this pick. And still, the WBC IBF welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. He successfully defended his belt against Danny Garcia, and more importantly than that, he looks to be completely back in stride after having that horrific car accident where he was thrown from the car in the hospital for at least 2 weeks and doesn't remember any of it still to this day. So I think we were all waiting to see, has he fully recovered from this car accident? And I'm happy to say I think he has. This was a great performance from him. I get it all. Look, I didn't even know that Manny Pacquiao still had a belt job. Let me just say that right now. I didn't know that. Anyway, Let's go ahead and get into this. So this was a pretty dominant victory, actually. All three judges scored it for him, and they all had the closest margins, I believe, was like 116, 112, or something like that. One had it 118, 110, one had it like 111, something like that. So this was pretty wide margins on all three judges' scorecards. I completely agree. I think Danny Garcia probably only won about 2 rounds, maybe I believe it was the 5th and 7th, where he actually started to move forward. So let's go ahead and break down how this entire fight pretty much went. So with Errol Spence Jr., he has a super high offensive output. So in order to actually even stand a chance, you got to have a higher offensive output, because otherwise you'll be too busy defending yourself. Danny Garcia was pretty much on that counter puncher action. Even his father in the corner midway in between the fights said he's looking for that counter shot. He needs to work to create his opportunities. We just didn't see that here. Errol Spence Jr. really pushed the pace, super high offensive output, evenly working the head and the body, pushing him back, holding the center of the ring, pushing him back up against the ropes. Danny was doing the one punch here, pot shotting, sometimes tying him up there, but moving backwards, backpedaling pretty much the entire fight. The moments that he did win is when he came forward, when he did put together multiple punches. We were wondering if he would be able to hurt Errol Spence Jr. I think the answer to that is yes. He stunned him actually, I think about twice. Actually stunned him, but again, it wasn't enough. He wasn't working enough to create those moments. So yeah, unanimous decision. Errol looked great. He looked fast. He looked strong. He had a good chin. He also, like I said, high offensive output. Nice bounce, great cardio. He lasted the entire 12 rounds and still looks really good. So I'm just happy to say that I'm pretty sure that Errol Spence Jr. has fully recovered from that car accident, and I'm super excited to see who he's going to fight next. Now again, so who should he fight next? Like I said, I didn't know Manny Pacquiao still had a belt. Apparently he's the WBA champion, and of course Terrence Crawford is the WBO champion. So it's got to be one of those two, right? Someone throw out some other names here. Y'all know we want the Errol Spence Jr. Terrence Crawford fight to happen. I want that to happen. But I'll be down for the Manny Pacquiao. If someone, you bring up a different name, sell me on it. I'm totally open to hear that as well. But again, just happy to see that he's fully recovered and he's back. Real quick, in the UFC news, I just want to get my little 2 cents in. Of course, UFC has dropped Yoel Romero, and Dana White, after this last fight, said that there was at least 60 names that are going to get cut from the UFC. They're basically just cleaning house. And he said that on that list is going to be some more popular fighters. People are throwing out possibly a Donald Cerrone. I mean, who knows who else it's going to be. So give me your thoughts on who else do you think might get cut from the UFC here in this big cut that's coming up. And with Yoel Romero, where do you think he should go? We know that Bellator turned down Anderson Silva. I think pretty much all of the fight, I'm outside, forgive me, I'm pretty sure all of the fight organizations are turning down Anderson Silva. I think they're just all like, hey, we love you, but we just don't. We just want to see you happy and healthy. We just don't. So we might get picked up in an overseas organization. But Bellator turned him down too. So do you think that they would turn down a Yoel Romero or try to pick him up? He is 43. He's in, I think, much better shape than Anderson Silva due to him starting MMA much later in his career. Also, he's a freak of nature. He's a phenom, right? Dana White had mentioned the fact that he had lost 4 out of his last fights, but we all know that those were extremely close losses to top-tier talent. The second fight with Robert Whitaker, a lot of people think he won that fight. The fight with Izzy, they're both extreme counterpunchers. It was so little offensive output, I don't really think you could say he looked bad because he didn't really look like anything. So I still think he has something left, and I think he should join the Bellator and join the 205 division. Go ahead and move up. Making weight for you has been hard this entire time. You're getting older. It's probably not going to get easier. Also, I love the fact that Scott Coker can say that, well, he can't, whatever you may think, but Scott Coker is going around kind of getting under Dana White's skin, saying that he has the best 205 division in the world. Adding Yoel Romero to that, even at 43, but with his fan base coming along with that, only will add to that. You can sell it. You can say, you know, the man's been cutting weight and been fighting too small his whole life, and that's taken away from his power. Now that he still has something left at 43, at his true weight class, we're going to see a new and improved Yoel Romero. Like, you can sell it. You can sell it. So I'm down for it. I want him to go to Bellator, and I want him to move up in weight class and go to 205. You guys let me know what you think, what should happen with Yoel Romero. Good decision by the UFC to cut him. Who else do you think might also get cut as well? So just give me your thoughts on everything that happened this past weekend, the UFC, plus with the boxing. all of the new news, any more news I haven't known about, injury updates, just follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Talk to me, take care. Subscribe, like. If you haven't already, please like. Subscribe, like. Talk to me, take care. And goodbye.